What's going on, Smash Heads? It is time for our July 16th game day here in the Car Demolition League. Just 3 game days left to go in the regular season. Needless to say, folks, we are at the home stretch. Got the field ready to go, got the first 2 teams out there. It's a matchup for pride here in this one. The Atlanta Avengers on the road with the record of 4 wins, 10 losses, no ties, 3 overtime losses. 15 points, they are unable to make the playoffs, so you're basically playing just to prove you still got it at this point. Because of course the draft's right around the corner. Their opponents with a record of 4 wins, 11 losses, no ties, and 2 overtime losses, 14 points on the season. The Nevada Thunder, again another team eliminated from playoff contention. As a matter of fact, these 2 teams are last place in the league. Nevada's in last place. Atlanta's in second last place. So this could really have some implications when we're talking about that first overall pick of the 2022 draft. So let's get a look at the lineups here for Matt Kaiser's Atlanta Avengers. Leading the way, it's going to be Red Drager, followed by Mika at the middleman spot. To the captain spot, it's Monkey Ball, and at 5-point gainer, it's Solar Reflex. To the home side of the field, it's Inferno leading the way for the Nevada Thunder, followed by Monkey at the middleman spot. Black Lena has the captain position for Nevada today, and at 5-point gainer for the league-operated team, that's 7 series. So both teams set and ready to go. Red Drager and Inferno going to lead us off, and Red Drager has a good flip. So Inferno down, 5-0 the score, Atlanta in the lead. So now that brings out Monkey for Nevada. Both cars are down, Monkey and Red Drager taking each other out. So now enter Black Lena and Mika. Black Lena for the Thunder, trying to tie this game up. Mika going for the Atlanta win. Almost had that win right there, and they'll go at it again. Poster interference, both cars were still up in the process, so they'll just switch sides, they'll go at it again. Matchup is on between these 2, and what a move by Black Lena, able to stay alive. So both these cars still going at it, and make it a tie game. Black Lena takes down Mika. Mika couldn't handle the edge there. And that edge can be hard for a car to handle sometimes. You know, you're right on the edge, and if you go off it too shallow enough, you don't really have the momentum to re-flip yourself back over, basically. So 10-10 the scores. That brings out Monkey Ball for the Avengers. And Monkey Ball with a couple of good hits, but Black Lena good defensively, and Black Lena has a flip. Nevada taking the lead now. So the score now 15-10, the Thunder on top, and now looking for the win. Solar Reflex trying to force overtime. See if he can do it. So far, $350 raised for charity. The game's going into overtime, so that means 35 games have gone to overtime this season. And both these cars still staying up, playing the edges that's flat. Matchup continues. Solar Reflex trying to force overtime, and a little gray shot that sends Black Lena out of play. Black Lena, of course, going for the win. 15-10 still to score. Nevada Thunder in the lead. They're going to put this one away, and they do right there. Solar Reflex is down, and the game ends in regulation. 15-10 the final. The Nevada Thunder get the win over the Atlanta Avengers, so that will put Atlanta into last place in the CDL, which, as of right now, gives them the first overall pick of the draft. That said, 2 game days left to go for both these teams, so we'll see what happens over the course of that time. But at the end of this one, Nevada with the win over Atlanta, 15-10 the final. Coming up next, we have another all cross-conference matchups today, but instead of the Atlantic versus the Pacific Division, we're going to see some Northeast Division versus Central Division. The Boston Vandals on the road against the San Antonio Defenders. Big matchup for Boston, and San Antonio trying to play spoiler. That match coming up next, so stay tuned. Welcome back, Smash Heads. The next game on tap is about to take place. Cars on the field ready to go for it. So just double checking to see if the red light is on there. That yeah, because we want to be recording, right? So Anyways, folks, Boston Vandals on the road against the San Antonio Defenders. Boston comes in with a record of 8 wins, 8 losses, no ties, and 1 overtime loss. They are tied with Buffalo for that final playoff seed in the Eastern Conference, so they are in massive need of a win. Their opponents, the San Antonio Defenders, they have no chance of making the playoffs now, eliminated from contention, a record of 6 wins and 11 losses. No ties or OT losses. Defending Western Conference champions, they know they're not going back to the Crash Bowl this year, so it's got to be upsetting for them in that perspective, but maybe the draft pick's online. Plus, there's some cars here that want to prove they can still do it. Now, a decision was made for Jim Hull's senior squad that far future did get repaired. So he will finish the season with the team if he can stay healthy. Of course, he had that broke wheel from the last game. And you can go back and look at it. I can't remember what segment it was on, but San Antonio's on there, and you'll see the broke wheel incident. And it was actually kind of a difficult repair to sort of make, just the way that Far Future is kind of constructed. The drill couldn't do as much as I was kind of hoping it would do, because the little stints that go through these rivets actually go up to the top of the car. They ain't just like holding it down and like being kind of loose like that. So it actually keeps it held together no matter like how deep I drilled. So that was really a tough repair, but he came through it. He's back for this game, so we'll see how he does. So big game for Boston. San Antonio, they love to play spoiler. Of course, you try to ruin any team's chances. Why? Because your chances have been ruined. You're just paying back the favor. It's like karma or whatever, you know? So let's get a look at the lineup. League-operated Boston Vandals. Leading the way for them today is going to be Nitro, followed by Blue Dragon 2. At the captain spot is Vendetta, and at 5-point gainer is Yellow Spider. To the home side of the field, we've got Shell leading the way for the San Antonio Defenders. At the middleman spot for Jim Hull's senior squad, there is Hawkeye. At the captain spot, fresh from that injury repair, that's Far Future. And at 5-point gainer is Aqua Ferrari. So, both teams set and ready to go. You might be wondering what I mean when I say league operated. It means that the team's up for adoption, basically, if you want to be a CDL team owner. But a good flip right away, and Boston out to a good start. Making a good impression on you folks, you know. 5 up in the score as Shell is taken down. That now brings out Hawkeye for the Defenders, and both cars stay up. Switching sides, and Hawkeye's down. Nitro has a 10-0 lead for Boston. Favored to win this game, and they are on track to doing that. Far Future trying to keep San Antonio alive in this thing, and an interference right there. Both cars still up, still in the process, still 10-0 game after the interference. And we got a good flip there. Nitro was down. So Far Future keeping the Defenders in this game. 10-5 now the score. So now Blue Dragon 2 is out there and able to stay up with Far Future. You know, he actually had some material drilled out of him trying to do those repairs, so I wonder what kind of effect it might have on him. He sends Blue Dragon 2 out of play. Boston still leads 10-5. He's got a flip so far. We'll see how he can manage against Blue Dragon 2. And look at that defensive maneuver. Remember, put him in a K-pop video, somehow staying up. Far Future in this game, and I mean, I think you just, it's all about proving your stock. You know that you're not going to make the playoffs, but you want to prove that you can still compete with the best cars out there. So I'm pretty sure Jim Hull Sr. is trying to pay attention to what cars do well, and look at this, another good flip. Far Future on a roll here, 10-10 the score. As they are fighting back against the Vandals here, as that brings out Vendetta for the Boston side. And now we got the defense from the Vandals. Vendetta, known for his defensive skills, does a breakdance maneuver to stay alive. My goodness, what a move. And this time he's down. Far Future bringing some offense. And he's looking for a captain's day. 15-10 the score. Defenders in the lead. Leading the comeback, fresh from repairs. Far Future. I mean, folks, I don't know if you know, I was born too late in the 80s to know it, right? I mean, it's like, how's it go? We built him faster. We built him better, you know. Rest assured we didn't put $6 billion in him or whatever, but you get the point. He's millions. Million or billion. You see, I'm not old enough, right? So It didn't age myself that well, but still. Yellow Spider out there trying to force overtime here for the Vandals. And Far Future trying to get the win. Trying to go for that captain's day. And I tell you, that will raise the stock. And that time we had no contact. They'll go back to their own sides, go at it again. Nothing will raise your stock like a captain's day, that's for sure. Well, he's got a completed, I think, Yellow Spider out there. Trying to force OT. Both cars stay up that time. Couple of barrel rolls there, and Yellow Spider ain't really the car known for his barrel rolling ability, at least not the ability to recover and stay up out after one, right? He's usually flipped after a barrel roll, but came through that time, and that was a nice little hit. And this time, Yellow Spider is down. Too much unstableness, a good flip in San Antonio with a comeback win. They were trailing 10-0. They win 15-10. And they have indeed placed spoiler on the Boston Vandals. And when you think about it, 25 points to 18 in the standings, only 7 points separating them, but maybe that just goes to show how close San Antonio is to getting back to where they were last year. And Hot Indy is a big loss for them, but because of the injury that he took, maybe it would make a difference. But I think it might have left Chicago in a worse place because Highlight really went downhill this year. And so Jim Hull Sr. got some rebuilding to do over the offseason for sure. As personally myself, I was expecting Chicago to have much better results as what they are up to this point in the season. They're going to be playing against the New York Empire. That game is going to be at the end of this segment. But coming up next, we got the Miami Brawlers on the road to take on the San Francisco Shinobis. Huge game for the Brawlers because behind that tie between Boston and Buffalo, there sat Miami, 1 point behind them with 24 points. They have been on a losing streak as of late. I think it's like 4 or 5 games straight that Miami has lost, but now the time has really come. In need of a win. Can they do it on the road against a team that on paper they should beat? Find out next. We are back, Smash Heads. Time for a matchup between grandmother and grandson. Shane Geiser and his Miami Brawlers on the road to take on his grandma's team, Lila Geiser's San Francisco Shinobis. Should be a fun matchup, you know, little in-family rivalry. There's a lot of that here in the CDL. A lot of my family members in this league, and it's fun watching them compete. You know, for the the glory of the Crash Bowl, and for the just the little friendly contests and whatnot. It's fun to watch. The Shinobis, they are home today with a record of 5 wins. Yes, 5 wins, 10 losses, 1 tie, 1 overtime loss. Already eliminated from the playoffs. They're looking to play spoiler here. Shane Geiser's Miami Brawlers, they've been on a slump, a massive slump. They've lost about 4 or 5 in a row. They come into this game day, though, with a record of 8 wins and 9 losses, no ties or OT losses. I mean, yeah, it's been 5, actually 4 in a row, because they were 8-5 at one time. But with 24 points, because of how good they did earlier on in the season, they are actually not too far from being in a playoff spot. So, with Boston taking the loss, Miami has a chance to pass them. And then the only other team that's ahead of them, keeping them from being in that last playoff spot, would be Buffalo. And they're going to be playing in the final segment today on the road against Detroit. So we'll see what happens with all of that. That being said, we got action to happen on the field right now. Spinebuster leads the way for the Miami Brawlers, followed by Buzzoff. At the captain spot, it's going to be Green Demon, and at 5-point gainer is Mika, or my mistake, Ray Indy. He looks just like Mika, I'm just saying. To the home side, Zapper leads the way for the San Francisco Shinobis. Following him out there will be Blue 512. At the captain spot, it's Spectite Jr., and at 5-point gainer is the rookie Cliprod. So both teams set and ready to go. Shinobi's trying to play spoiler here. Shane Geiser with the Brawlers trying to get a win to help advance their cause in a free shot. We haven't had one of these in a while. A free shot is actually given to San Francisco as the setup has been made. They just got to take the shot and each side of their red line, and they'll try to get a flip here. And he's just going to knock him loose. And not enough force in it. They'll knock him loose. They'll be on opposite sides. They'll go at it again, and this time, ooh, Spinebuster would have been down, but out of play is going to save him. Still a scoreless game. And Spinebuster makes Zapper pay for it. He might make Blue 512 pay for the failed attempt at the free shot here, too. You got a 5-0 game. Blue 512 comes out. No, Blue 512 says, no, I'm just going to meet you head on and take you down. And that's exactly what he did. He's a heavy card. He evens this game at 5. Now enter Buzz Off. Buzz Off is a card that they got right before the season started, and he is down there. I think they got him during the draft. Did well so far this season up to that point right there. So now 10-5 San Francisco, and now the Shinobis going for the win here. Green Demon up to him to try to stay in this game. Not going to happen. And you know, Miami had switched their lineup there. They took Ray Indy off that front line thinking, well, maybe, you know, we can have our defense do something that didn't work at all. 15-5 is the final, and that's a tough loss for Miami, but the opportunity now opening up for a team like the Buffalo Warriors. They have 25 points, so with the win they get to 28 with 2 game days left. It wouldn't knock Miami out, but there's some opportunities opening up here with Boston taking the loss and Miami taking the loss. I think Toronto might have just clinched a playoff spot. Same with Tampa Bay. I think they just clinched a playoff spot because of this. So I'd have to double check, I think, but I'll do that and I'll get back to you. But coming up next, the New York Empire on the road against the Chicago Wind Attack. San Francisco getting the big win over Miami here, 15-5, the final. And they switched up from a lineup really that was getting them 4 straight losses, folks. So Shane Geiser might be a little bit upset about that one, but he can't be too upset because the Philadelphia Demons are Atlantic Division champions. So his other team was complete fire, and let's face facts, Miami took last place last year. So to go from last place to being in the playoff hunt, not bad. Not bad at all. Empire and Wind Attack. Next. Well, Smash Heads, we are back, and I have confirmed it. Yes, Toronto is going to the playoffs in just their 2nd season of operation. So congratulations. They didn't even have to play today because of Boston losing and because of Miami losing. Toronto is playoff bound. So congratulations to the Toronto Titans. Coming up next, though, we got a team that is currently in the hunt of a playoff spot on the home side of the field here against a team that has clinched a spot, but with the win, they keep themselves in that division title race, and that's what they are after right now. The New York Empire, 12 wins, 4 losses, no ties, and 1 overtime loss. They are just 3 points back of the Gowanda Outlaws in the Northeast Division, and they are looking for a win to stay alive a little bit longer in this Northeast Division race, of course. With the win today and they go on to loss, they'll jump into the lead in the Northeast Division. So big game for New York. As for the home side of the field, Jim Hull Sr. and his Chicago Wind Attack. 9 wins, 6 losses, no ties, 2 overtime losses. That has them at 29 points. They are 1 point back from a playoff spot, and they are trying to put the heat on Seattle and Houston today. And they need a win to do so. Simply said. Right now, the cut to make it in the Western Conference is 38 points. If Chicago loses that game, this game here, that number drops from 38 points to 35 points, which would open up the door of opportunity to teams like Phoenix and LA to also clinch playoff spots today. So everybody knows who they're rooting for now in this one, so let's go on ahead and get a look at the lineups. It's going to be 15 Turbo leading the way for the New York Empire. Following him out there is going to be Rising Heat. He was a rookie last year, Rookie of the Year, and his sophomore season doing pretty good. Black Bullet 2 at the captain spot for the Empire, and that 5-point gainer is Challenge. To the home side of the field, the Chicago Wind Attack lead the way with Blue Dragon. Following him out there, it's going to be Hot Indy. R will be at the captain spot, and that 5-point gainer for the Wind Attack is Red Denna. So, Jim Hull Sr. trying to have a 2-0 day today. He's, of course, the only team he's got left with a chance to make the playoffs. He wants them, he needs them to win here. That'd be the best way to put it here. Blue Dragon and 15 Turbo leading us off. Two of the CDL's original 6 teams battling here in this one. And make it 5-0 Chicago. 15 Turbo down. And now Blue Dragon out there to take on Rising Heat. 5-0 the score. And look at that, both cars staying up. Rising Heat so good defensively, and he's able to stay up yet again. There was an interference there, but still 5-0. There was no flip on the play, so nothing to really point out too much. As these two stay up yet again, switching sides. Oh, almost a flip there. Rising Heat up to the task. Blue Dragon applying that pressure, and both cars surviving that time. And off the screen, still staying alive. Not that time though. Blue Dragon gets the flip that gives Chicago a 10-0 lead. And how you like being on home field. Chicago did not do well against Gowanda playing on the soft field. That is for sure. But they are up 10-0 here. Blue Dragon trying to put it away. But he has to go up against Black Bullet 2, aka the franchise. Trying to keep the Empire, his franchise, in this game. Not gonna happen. Donuts served for dinner. When you need to win the most, who can come through the most? I'm just going to say, Jim Hull Sr., don't trade that car. Blue Dragon gets the flip, and the wind attack get a much-needed win. 15-0 Donuts served for dinner, the final score. And the Empire have been dealt a crushing blow in that divisional title race. Now, if Gowanda were to win today, they would not clinch the division, but they would put themselves just 1 point away from doing so. So, yeah, high times, man. It is quite the story being told with a bunch of old, beat-up Hot Wheels. That there is no doubt. It's amazing what you can do with 4 toy cars in a dream. Why not? 15-10. I know it's an old saying, but, well, it's an old one for me. Not for necessarily all of you. It might be your first time hearing it. But I came up with that one, I think, back in 2014, I think. So, anyways. Folks, that does it for segment 1. The Wind Attack are well alive in that playoff race. That win puts them to 32 points, so currently in 5th. But now they got to wait to see what Houston and Seattle do. As a matter of fact, Houston's going to be headlining the next segment. They're going to be home against the Gowanda Outlaws. As for Detroit, they will be hosting the Buffalo Warriors in the 3rd segment. But coming in the next segment, Washington at Phoenix, Montreal at Mexico City, Puerto Rico at Seattle, and then, of course, like I just mentioned, Gowanda at Houston. I don't think you're going to want to miss it. Go on ahead and slam that bell, subscribe, follow Toy Car Demolition Derby, and I do say so myself, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but the premier league of Toy Car Demolition Derby doesn't get higher than this. 25 years of doing it since I was a kid. I've studied these cars. I know what they're capable of. I go out looking for free agents every year, trying to bring the best talent to the league. I've basically been cultivating the Demo Derby talent of Hot Wheels, whether they've known it or not. I've been cultivating their talent for the better parts of 25 years of my life. So, no doubt, to me, this is definitely the premier Toy Car Demolition Derby that you're going to find anywhere. So, that being said, folks, Segment 2 is going to be coming up soon, or it's going to be uploaded soon, so don't miss it. Subscribe, click the bell. Alright, cool beans. We'll be back in a bit.